experience, very excited to reach this huge milestone in our career. IJN started operations in 1992, and I must say I've been very proud to be able to serve IJN for the last 27 out of the 30 years since its establishment in 1992. I have seen IJN grow from strength to strength over the last 30 years to become what is now well known as the premier center of excellence in cardiovascular and thoracic care. And also, I'm also proud to say that I hope I played a minor role in making IJN achieve its current status. I think personally, I come full circle when I joined IJN in 1995 as a young doctor. So over the years, I've had the opportunities to grow and expand my career until now. I'm now the head of the hospital as the group CEO. So I think to me it's a complete circle, and I think I would not be able to have done it without the support of all the staff that I have in IJN. And also not forgetting the backing from our major stakeholders, which is the Ministry of Finance, as well as the Ministry of Health and our Board of Directors. I think having accreditation and recognition from the various international and local organizations is a feather in the cap. As I say, we want to benchmark our services, and the best way to benchmark quality is through accreditation. Because then it's an objective done by external parties who then rate your services to see whether it is up to an international as well as the local standard. As many of you may be aware of, IJN has both international and local accreditation. So this would be for local accreditation would be MSPH, Malaysian Society of Quality Health. We have had accreditation continuously since 2005, and in 2009 we embarked on our international accreditation, which is JCI, Joint Commission International, which is based in the United States. And until now we have had continuous re-accreditation since 2009, and we are actually due for our next one at the end of this year. So apart from the accreditation in terms of clinical services, we also want to benchmark our non-clinical services. So if you look at our other milestones, would be in terms of recognition, in terms of we have ISO certification for security, for CSR, for our corporate social responsibility, human resource management. We also have accreditations for halal, for HACCP, which is the hazardous material accreditation, and a number of other accreditations as well. And then all this, I think, is to combine, to give people that IJN is not just in terms of the clinical services that we are recognized, but also in our back-end services as well. So it's a holistic approach for us to achieve all this recognition. I remember last year, we were the first hospital in Malaysia that introduced a device called IVL, intravascular lithotripsy. Now, this particular technology has been used for many years to treat kidney stones. So those of you who may have read about it, so kidney stones, because these are basically using sonic waves to break your kidney stones so that you don't have to go for operation. So the stones can then be passed out naturally. So technology has been so advanced, they can miniaturize that huge machine which we use to treat kidney stone to something on a balloon. And then I think last year we also did what is this valve called? Trick valve, TRIC. So trick valve is a bicable valve which is used to treat a particular leakage of the valve on the right side of your heart, called the tricuspid valve. If you look into cardiology, as time goes on, we are becoming less and less invasive in terms of our treatment. Yeah? Previously, if you look at the history of cardiac treatment, it was always surgery first. Yeah? But nowadays, because technology has advanced, now treatment are becoming less and less surgical. And most of the treatments for heart disease, we can now just do through the groin. So it's like doing an angiogram. So that basically the advantage is a shorter hospital stay, no scar because there's no surgery. So in fact, we can now, apart from the angioplasty and stenting, which is the bread and butter stuff, we can actually repair or replace valves, damaged valves in your heart without surgery. To make it easier, what we plan to do is that we will have an app for our patients. So, and this app will, like many apps, we have to sign in personal. So all this information is private and confidential anyway. So we must ensure that whatever information that we are passing is specific to you and no one else has access to it. So that app will enable our patients to communicate with us better. So in fact, they can arrange for appointments, they can arrange even for slots, which slots that they want. And we envision that the apps will also, when you come in, that they will tell you that your counter, you're seeing this doctor and you are number how many in the list and what's the expected time before you see your doctor. Yeah? And also with the apps, there will also be a medical sort of report where you can download your latest blood results, your latest scans, your latest medication that you're taking at your own convenience and time. Yeah? Because imagine if you have global travelers, different time zones. Yeah? So for them, it might be morning and they might be calling the hospital, hello, I need to have my report of my latest blood test, but they forgot in Malaysia it's at 12 midnight. Okay? So there is no one going to respond to their call. So if we can empower our patients to have access to their own records, I think everyone will appreciate it. We appreciate it as well, patients appreciate it, and the referring doctors from whichever country that they come from will also be very happy to get the information. I think as many organizations grow, the challenges become even more greater because expectations increase with time. I think this is always the issue with most organizations as they get bigger and become more well known. And matching expectations is always a tough thing to do. But we hope that, but I personally think that, matching expectations is a form of stimulus. It pushes us to go harder, expand our horizons, and look into new facilities, new procedures, all with the idea of improving the care. So I think for IJN, I think the biggest thing moving forward would be our digital transformation. Okay? I think digital transformation happens across all industries, and I think the healthcare industry is also not to be left behind. We need to be able to adopt technologies that are, meaningful and cost-effective. One thing about technology is that as new technology emerges, cost goes up. And I think if you read in the paper, I think that's a big issue moving into the future because the expectation is that there'll be rising healthcare costs in the future. So we need to be able to rationalize which of the technologies that will be, the most cost-effective measure and produce equally good results for our patients. So we need to invest as well in technology. And for IJN, we are always on the lookout for new technologies. We are always curious about what's going outside. Which country or which hospital has the latest techniques, has the latest tools, the latest equipment, so that we can bring those technology to our patient. From IJN's perspective, how we do that is that we send our medical health professionals for training overseas to well-known centers, both in Europe, Australia, and also in the States. Because I think what we want to do is we want to take the best practice from the various places that we send our medical professionals to and bring them back, tweak it a little bit to fit our to fit our local needs. And also, I think importantly, also the soft skills, the ability to communicate the messages clearly to our patients and their families. You may have the best equipment in the world, you may have the best expertise, but you are not able to communicate that to the patients, then the results will not be as good as you would like it to be. So I think in a nutshell, I would probably say these are the major things that we are looking at. I think we are probably one of the few hospitals in Malaysia that actually publish our so-called success rates. It is on our website. So you open our IJN website under quality, under quality, there are pages there in which we highlight the success rates of the common procedures that we do, the bread and butter stuff. I think non-adherence is a global problem, and it's actually one of the reasons why maybe the cost effectiveness of a treatment becomes reduced because of non-compliance. So there are many ways to tackle it. There is there is governmental ways of tackling it. There can be societal ways of getting it, and also can be individual ways. So for IJN, as we came later, but as I said, for IJN, we have dedicated lifestyle clinics. So when people come from our medical checkup program, we have a wellness program upstairs, and we find that they have a certain risk factor. We then encourage them to join our lifestyle clinics, where we will spend individual time addressing them. Because in our hurry of business days nowadays, the time is so precious. We may not have enough time. And I noticed from my own experience, if you want patients to comply to you, you need to spend time with them. You need to listen, be a good listener, talk, and provide feedback to them. So this is where IJN plays our important role. And this, as you notice our logo, trust IJN. So we want to build that trust. So when you build that trust with your patient, then they understand what you are doing for them, or what you want to do for them. So that is one important aspect of the personalized approach. Looking forward, I have great expectations for IJN to raise the bar, in terms of providing cardiac care as well as medical care to patients not just for Malaysia, but also in the region and if possible globally. So what I would like is that I would like our staff yang currently ada to continue contributing to the organisation and working together, going for the same goal, so that we can achieve our ultimate goal of making IJN not just a regional, but also a global center of excellence in cardiovascular and thoracic care.